Sanibona, ngaphambi singene kwivideo namuhla, ngithi angithathe lethuba ngibonge i-support nothando enikhombise lona lingaphezu kokucabanga kwethu. Siyacela niqhubeke nisupporte njalo ngokubuka amavideo ethu, ungakhohlwa ukukhomenta, ushare, ulike. Siyafisa ukuzwa umbono wakho. Sicela ke singene kwivideo namuhla. Minister we-Higher Education and Training okubuti Manamela namhlanje ube phambi kweParliament kwi-Portfolio Committee ye-Higher Education and Training. Sizokhumbula ukuthi ngokudlule sareport udaba lwakhona ukuthi kukhona amasitha angenawo ama-board kodwa yena wakhetha ukuthi ngcono kube nama-administrator. So i-EFF ne-DA baphikisana naleso sinqumo bathi no, angeke kuze kulunge, akufanelanga isitha ibe phansi kwe-administration ilawulwe umuntu oyedwa, kufuneka isitha ilawulwe i-board, ngoba uma kuyi-board bayakwazi ukubonisana nani futhi noma futhi kwenzeka ubugebengu uyakwazi ukuvela, ngoba uma isinqumo sesithathwa umuntu oyedwa kuba inkinga. Kanti okunye kwesibili abakuveza ukuthi uKarabo Cacao wasilandela bona abantu laba abaqoka uminister ba-implicated ey'ndabeni ze-corruption nezinto ezingahambanga kahle koma-municipality lapha babekhona. So konke lokho nje babethi no, ukwazi ukuthi labantu ungasilandela abantu lapha abasuka khona abaney'nkinga bese uzobafaka kumasitha. Siyazi ukuthi amasitha ngokwawo kufuneke a-train abantu abasha abapha ama-skills ukuze bekwazi ukuqasheka, kodwa ayindawo lapho ama-comrade akwazi ukulutha khona ngendlela athanda ngayo. uKarabo Cacao we-DA, spokesperson we-DA, ubhale kanje ku-X yakhe yaziwa nge-Twitter. uManamela uthi i-forensic report lena implicator u-Opankowane kanye nelihlohonolo Masoga ezenzweni ze-fraud, i-corruption kanye ne-mismanagement of public funds akangene yena kulezo zinto lezo. It's none of his business. Ibutshelani mina, uyaphila kahle lo minister? Kungathi umuntu ukuthi we umismanage ama-public funds uphinde wena uthi akusizindaba zakho, kune-report eshoyo bese uthi wena awungene wena lapho, it's none of your business, uphinde umqoke lo muntu lo ukuthi akaphathe kahle kahle. Lo minister right kahle kahle noma unenkinga?
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. Maybe firstly, Minister, let us welcome the interventions or the intention for intervention in these matters. But maybe before yourself, Minister, as I appreciate the presentations, let me also welcome and appreciate the intervention that you made on the issues of NSFAS as it pertained to the funded students that had their funding withheld during the course of the year. Let me also register, as I have sent a letter to the acting CEO of NSFAS to say, can the minister and NSFAS further engage with yourself to ensure that these students that were affected are not adversely affected in as far as academic exclusion is concerned, because they would have suffered a lot during this period and they could have not probably executed their academic ambitions or expectations accordingly. Now, Minister, as I've indicated that the decision to intervene on wrongdoing and failures or mismanagement is welcomed and is very necessary. However, we must scrutinize the how part. But maybe before I do that, Minister, if you could just tell me, this committee and the people of South Africa, do you have relations with the individual called Mr. Opa Nkwane? How long have you known him, personally or otherwise, before he was appointed to be the administrator?
Thank you. I've known the three administrators for quite some time. I don't know for how long, but it's been quite some time.
I'm speaking about the one individual in particular, Mr. Opa Nkwane. How long have you known him? If you can estimate, 10 years, 20 years, personally.
I don't know. It's been a while. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's been quite a while.
It's many years.
Yes.
He's not your friend.
No, he's not my friend.
All right. I'm asking that because you mentioned something about political affiliation, Minister. So I just wanted to have you on record on that one. Okay, maybe before I get to the caliber of people that would have been appointed, what is your posture or your attitude, just not briefly but precise, about corruption and fraud, Minister? What is your attitude towards it?
I suppose I'm opposed to corruption and fraud.
The reason why I'm asking, Minister, again, I want to give you a small background of something that I think would have slipped your mind on the 28th of June. Last year, November, and during the course of this year, there was a very critical matter that we would have pursued before the portfolio committee on serious allegations of fraud and corruption and misleading of the previous minister. At the time, it was Dr. or Professor, I hear, Professor Nzimande, that the Director General would have misled the minister and would have participated in fraud and corruption in as far as the appointment of the then regional manager of KwaZulu-Natal is concerned. A number of letters were written to the previous minister, and I would really suppose that you would have been aware of the matter in as far as last year. Now, in your response on the 20th of June, you said before this, it was this venue, I remember very well, you were speaking before the then minister would come back to close. You said in the department, you don't just up and suspend people. Now, you are speaking about a matter that would have sat with the department at least 6 months at that time. I've further written to you on this matter, amongst other matters. Your response was that you would consult with the DG, who's conflicted on the matter, and you put no timelines. And this is serious allegations of fraud and corruption and misleading of a previous minister. It has millions of state funds or public funds, as it were. And that very individual was also alleged to have brought in walk-ins of 2 other individuals that are deputy directors in that particular office. Now, if that is your attitude towards fraud and corruption or allegations thereof, why are you not taking any agency on this matter, Minister? If you can just be very precise.
Okay. I have received your letter, and I have responded to it as you've indicated. I did not say I'm going to consult with the DG. If I said that, that would have been an error. I've since asked the DG for answers as it relates to that matter. The DG has responded to me. I've indicated to the DG that I'm unsatisfied with his response on this matter, and that I would like some additional information. And I think once I get that additional information, I will take action. So that's where the matter is as it stands now. So it's not that I haven't taken any action. I have taken an action. I've asked for answers from the DG as it relates to the allegations that you have made in terms of his role in the matter. And as I said, he's given me answers that I'm not satisfied with, and I've asked him to give me more answers.
Because the time is limited, Minister, I will not proceed to pursue that matter forth. I would appreciate timelines in your response as you come back.
Can I just indicate that in terms of your response, can I just indicate that I will give you a response in terms of by the end of next week, whether there is a response from the DG or not. I will give you further responses in writing. And secondly, that if the responses that we get from the DG are not satisfactory, And if we, suspect that there may have been, as you suggest, misconduct as it relates to the appointment of the regional manager, action will be taken.
No, thank you very much, Minister. I think we'd further pursue the matter to perhaps through the chairperson of the portfolio committee, summon the previous minister at the time, which was Prof. Nzimande, to also further give account on the matter, because it is indeed a serious matter. So we'll pursue that route as well. Minister, on the caliber of people that you, before we get to the process, the caliber of people that you opted to appoint as administrators, I asked you about the Mr. Opangwane, who allegedly is implicated in a forensic investigation. They say it was on 2017, 2018. The forensic investigation speaks to around 872 million in irregular expenditure, as it were. So it says he was implicated in that particular forensic report. I just want to find out from yourself, Minister, have you perhaps bothered to get a hold of that particular forensic report, and what was your thinking in if ever you did actually get that report, to further consider that individual to preside over, ensuring the management of the funds of a sitter after being alleged to be implicated in a particular report of that nature? Just very precise, Minister.
I think, as you indicate, Honorable Member, that there's an allegation. We looked at what are the requirements in terms of the Skills Development Act, and we then did our investigations as it relates to the areas that the DG indicated. And as it relates to those areas, we found that the administrator is, qualifies, that there are no implications, criminal or otherwise, against him. And yes, the issue of the implications as it relates to the forensic investigation, yes, it was one of the issues that came up. And we presented the facts to the administrator, which was, I think, a simple Google search. Presented all of that, and pressed him for answers. He did give us the answers as it relates to that, and we were satisfied. We did not think that in any way, is any criminal conduct. We did not think that. This will put the sitter at risk based on.
Minister, can I please cut you, because my time is limited and I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
So, Minister, you did not consider the fact that the said individual is tainted with having been implicated in such a forensic report. You did not consider that. It didn't matter.
No. As I said, we looked at it, we presented it to him, and he gave us responses.
So it didn't matter that he's tainted with such forensic implications.
Well, the fact that someone is tainted or alleged, it doesn't mean that the person is guilty of a crime.
Okay. So how in your headhunting, how many people did you headhunt? Then obviously would have shortlisted, then ultimately got to these individuals, these three individuals.
Well, I don't have the number off the top of my head.
Was it many people that you had headhunted, then you selected to find these?
For me, I don't think the process, as to how many people and all of that matters.
It doesn't matter. That's why I'm asking you, Minister, because you would have ultimately selected these individuals to be the perfect suit to then be administrators. So it does matter.
Well, I think we can present to you, I think, one or two of the CVs that were presented to me. But in the overall, with all the CVs that were presented, these were the people who qualified.
Okay, Minister, can you please present before the committee the number of people that would have been headhunted?
I'll have to look at the report and then.
Please, then submit those so that, we just attest to actually if these with the suitable people.
Okay.
Mr. Mvalo was the person who was overseeing all these sitters before you made him the administrator.
Yes.
He failed
Mr.
dismally.
Malo is the Deputy Director General for Skills Development.
Yes, skills development. Ultimately, the sitters are responsible for skills development, Minister.
Yes.
Are they not?
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Mbalo failed dismally to oversee these sitters, in particular the ones that, let's say these ones that now you are saying he must be in charge of one. He failed dismally to oversee the LG sitter. Is that correct?
There's a difference between overseeing or oversight,
Okay.
and being responsible, being the accounting officer,
Yeah.
or being the accounting authority for a sitter.
Okay, so he's fit to be the accounting authority and officer, but not fit to oversee and ensure that the sitter is functional.
Yes.
Okay.
I need to emphasize this.
I have
because-
limited time, Minister.
Well,
I've captured you.
Well, I think I also
Sure.
need to respond
Please-
to your question.
Please pause my time so
I
that
need-
the minister can respond.
I need to
adequately.
respond to your question. Mr. Mvalo is the Deputy Director General for Skills Development. Under him is not just the 21 seaters, it's a bigger portfolio. And being responsible for 21 seaters, with LG seater being one of those seaters, in the overall, the performance of LG seater is not a reflection of the performance of all the seaters in the first instance, but also the performance of the entirety of the branch. And so but also what is required of him in terms of the interventions as we've showed, we believe that he's the right person for the job.
Thank you very much, Minister. So the boards, the AAs, are long overdue for appointment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Instead of appointing boards which would ultimately play the similar role, if not better, or if the scope is not even more than this that you've highlighted here, why instead of appointing boards, you opt to put in administrators for 3 sitters, unless you want to tell this committee that these are the 3 badly performing sitters and it was so urgent that it couldn't wait. But while you answer that, Minister, I went through the Skills Development Act and the points in particular that you mentioned here, and I cross-checked them with the reasons that have been given. Not a single one of them matches any of the 5 bullets that are highlighted in the Skills Development Act.
Can you please repeat that?
So the Skills Development Act, the 5 bullets, bullet 1 being if the sitter fails to perform its functions, there is mismanagement of finances, there is mismanagement, not allegations of mismanagement, there's mismanagement of finances. Its membership no longer serves, is no longer substantially represents the composition. The sitter has failed to comply with the service level agreement. The sitter has failed to comply with the instruction of the minister. On the construction sitter, for instance, the first reason that you gave to the committee is that the CFO alleged that the CEO was giving her unlawful instructions or illegal instructions, and there was an unethical environment to work. Therefore, she resigned. Then there is a written complaint from a suspended person, which I was still going to get to, who had actually suspended the manager, because that person could be disgruntled and has a vendetta, or probably has a vendetta against the person that suspended them. Be that as it may, that person was suspended and they wrote a complaint against the CEO. The accounting authority, letter dated 19 August, requested that the minister then the CEO on precautionary suspension following the allegations against him. The 2 other reasons that are put here, one is saying that there's negative media publicity, in particular the City Press. And the last reason says a number of other allegations from various other sources. Then it says including Nehau. So there's only one source that made other allegations. So it's allegations. So if yourself, Minister, you used the allegations as it were, then put administration instead of putting in a board. I want to understand, how does this align with the act that you said you used? We further go to, I won't deal with the services SETA because it had no CEO. Let me then go to, I see that my time is depleting. But the reasons is again to put the LG SETA under construction, under, excuse me, Minister, under administration. It was construction SETA. The reasons that are there, Minister, is a report that was initiated by the Minister of Finance. You could have, Minister, according to that report, could have concurred or could have done your own investigation to satisfy yourself. But again, you had the option of putting in the board, and you did not do that, but opted to put in an individual. In this case, a person that I do not believe was suitable because he had failed dismally to perform his oversight role or otherwise to ensure that that sector is functional.
Thank
So,
you.
so maybe lastly, Chair, no other point.
No, Honorable Cesar. The reason I put the clock for you to look at is so that you can time yourself properly.
No, thanks, Chairperson.
If you can-
Okay. So firstly, I must emphasize the fact that the problems at the two seaters, which is the two that I don't know why you're worried about just the two, because the other one you say doesn't have a CEO. But with the two seaters, as it relates to construction seater, as I indicated that there was an administrator before, and then there was a board that was put into place. A lot of these things that happened with a board in place, a board that subsequently advised the then minister to concur with the board for the suspension of the CEO, a decision which was subsequently reversed by the same board. And even after that, I think when the contracts of the current accounting, of the previous accounting authority lapsed, which was at the end of March, the same board recommended that the then CEO be extended, and also be with an addition of the CEO having a responsibility as an accounting authority. A pattern has also been existing that almost the same people have been active in this board for the last 3 or 4 terms. Thirdly, that the board themselves, had allowed the situation to continue, and so that's why I believe that it is important that we, get this rapid and immediate intervention to hold, the problems that have been happening at the construction sector. We could not allow the CEO to continue precisely because he's implicated. So if I ask the question, there are these allegations that the previous board had, observed about you. How do I ask that same question to the same person who's being implicated and ask him to investigate in terms of that? So that's why, there was this intervention. And I did not think that appointing the board, or the accounting authority would have been the best instrument under the circumstance. That the administrator would have been better placed because the rod went in deeper, and the rod even goes before the previous accounting authority. And I think we've illustrated the timeline. As it relates to the local government SETA, I cannot investigate an investigation that has been concluded by another organ of state. So Treasury comes to me and say, we have concluded this investigation on this entity of yours on a matter that relates to the appointment of its CEO, and also relating to the dissolution of the Audit and Risk Committee, and the fact that the chairperson of the Audit and Risk Committee was found to have been doing business with the with the entity itself. This implicates not just the accounting officer, it also implicates the accounting authority. And similarly, a pattern has been existing. And I think just to also, emphasize the fact that, with regards to similarly with regards to the local government SETA, it was almost improbable for us to imagine, the CEO who's being implicated in this regard by this report, to implement the recommendations of that report. And that's why we, had to put in place this intervention to resolve this issue. So that's the reason why we accelerated the process of appointing accounting authorities elsewhere. But in this regard, with regards to these 3 seaters, we believed that, we needed to put in place administrators. Thank you.
Ngibona ukuthi ngcono ngibehlukanise ngingayifaki ngoba izosuke bese bayividende kakhulu. Umuntu wesibili engizomcaphuna manje uKarabo Cacao, then owe-ANC kanye noSihlelonzi mhlawumbe nomunye ngizobenzela ivideo yabo ngoba uma ngase ngithi nje ngizobafaka bona bodwa ngizoba nenkinga ngoba izosuke bese ividende kakhulu kanti kubalulekile ukuthi sizixoxe lezi zinto ngoba zithinta ikusasa. Uma ukhuluma ngentsha nje ukhuluma ngekusasa lalezwe leli. Ngicela uzwe la.
Thank you, Chairperson. Minister, I hope you're well. I'm not going to focus on the process or anything. Mine is specific because you would know that on the 19th of August, I wrote to you and you wrote back. And even though you've written back and indicated that you have sought the advice of the Public Service Commission, I still believe there's a lot that is in your hands that you can fix, that you don't need to rely to the PSC for. Particularly because it is my honest opinion that you are passing the buck of responsibility to the Public Service Commission, because it's easier for them to say yes or no, these appointments make sense, than it is for you to renege on your word and your commitment to your administrators. That's just my honest observation. But let's start here. In your and the DG's presentations and the responses you've given to members before this house today, you've made references to forensic reports that were done within your department. And you are of the firm view that you trust these forensic reports as the reasons to implement their conclusions and as reasons to transform the sector as part of the reason why you've placed these seaters under administration. If you, Minister Manamela, have 100% faith in the work of forensic reports and their advices, how do you justify then your inability to trust that forensic services company Comperio, as well as forensic services company Mara's work as far as detailing the acts of fraud, corruption, and the mismanagement of public funds, as far as Ntate Obangwane and as far as Ntate Lekgokonolo Masoga are concerned, do not hold water? How do you justify not trusting those particular forensic reports?
Thank you. Okay. I didn't say that the reports do not hold water. It is not my responsibility to, make judgment or adjudicate on those reports. And I believe that the people who have the responsibility to, take those reports to the latter, should do that or should have concluded that. I did not ignore the existence of the report. As I said, I presented them to the administrators and they've given their account. And I think if they are free to do so, to give their account to in public, I think they're free to do so. And I think on the basis of those reports, are satisfied that the existence of the report will not interfere with their work as administrators in the SETAs. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the existence of forensic reports that we relied on to act is not absolute. So I'm not suggesting that because Treasury has conducted an investigation, therefore, the CEO of LG SETA is guilty of, whatever is being alleged, and or the members of the board. I don't think it is in my place to pass judgment as it relates to that. And I believe that the appointment of administrators, the intention is to facilitate the conclusion of the work that the forensic investigators have done, and so I think they need to be taken in that context. Our reliance was not on the existence of a report. Our reliance was on whether these people, are they criminal, are they competent, and so on and so forth.
I hear you, Minister. I'm poking a hole in the premise of your argument because I believe that there's reasonable doubt on whether your argument is sound or it makes sense or it's logical. The reason why I would beg that your submission is fallacious is because in your argument to say you have put SETAs under administration, you've pointed to multiple forensic reports. You've pointed out to Auditor General outcomes, which in their nature are also forensic to a certain extent. And you have pointed out to your observation or the ministry's observation of performance over a period of time. And therefore, in combination, you have judged that there is reason enough to want to intervene and correct what's wrong, which I don't have a problem with fundamentally. However, if you are, in all honesty, going to sit before any human being or even this house and say that part of the reasons that have given you strength to put them under administration as part of your argument, then you are admitting that there is power in a forensic report. Because here's what you're saying. There's a forensic report that was done somewhere else in another sphere of government in two different other provinces, Limpopo and Gauteng. Just because the MECs of those respective departments that oversee the Makado Mosina Special Economic Zone in the sense of Ntate Masoga and the Kokta MEC of Gauteng in respect to Ntate Nkwane's work at Mfuleni, just because they haven't acted on those reports, you are saying it is not your responsibility to consider those forensic reports as alarming enough to deter you from appointing headhunted specifically individuals who are listed in these forensic reports. So for me, it makes absolutely no sense, Minister. You can't say there was weak oversight within the SETAs when Ndade Mvalo has been the DDG responsible for the oversight of those SETAs since 2017. And in trying to fix the problem, you appoint him as an administrator. That just makes absolutely no sense. Number two, you can't say there were irregular procurements generally within these SETAs, that it was normal for people to award contracts without following due processes within the SETAs, and that there were tender battles with the possibility of irregularity in procurements again, and say that millions of South Africans' rands were unaccounted for, and that there were forensic and audit findings that point out to a culture of mismanagement of public funds and administration, and also continue to say these administrators who too are listed in forensic reports that detail the irregular procurement you're talking about, that detail already the mismanagement of millions of rands that are unaccounted for, that you have already identified to be a problem where you want to take them, and still maintain that these administrators bring the necessary capacity and integrity, in your words, to hold these positions. So for me, Minister, because we could go on and you're going to exhaust all your reasons, my plea still remains. It still remains, Minister. If indeed your number one goal is to make sure that you clean house and you rid the sector of corruption, fraud, and all acts of maladministration and the mismanagements of public funds, as part of your oath of office and your commitment to upholding your oath to maintain public trust, withdraw these appointments. Withdraw them. Because now this is my earnest advice to you, because the Public Service and Commission is going to come back and say, yeah, these people have had enough years of experience within the sector. Yeah, these people hold the necessary qualifications within the sector, but it's still not going to deal with the fact of, yes, they're not in jail. Yes, they're not in court. But forensic reports still say. That is my absolute advice to you. Do you take that advice? Do you not?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I think the suggestion you're making is basically akin to the fact that putting in place accounting authorities is a punitive action, and that we are basically punishing the CEOs who are in the office. Yes, because so I have in receipt a report that was commissioned by Treasury, and on the basis of that report, action is taken not to punish the CEO of local government CETA, for instance, but to put in place measures that will help us, correct the situation. So the action is not punitive. It's not based on an individual, because you equating one process with another. You saying that we acted on the basis of forensic reports at the LG CETA, actions which are not necessarily punitive on the one hand, but on the other hand, you are suggesting that we should exclude people from being considered as administrators when there's not been any judicial finding against them. I would deem that to be, quite unfair, and I think getting that from, someone who belongs to the Democratic Alliance, a liberal political party, to suggest that we should not consider anybody on the basis that there are allegations against them. I think that it would be unfair, it would be unjust, and it would be unconstitutional. And what I want to emphasize is that we looked at what are the basic requirements of the law. We looked at what are the requirements of the specific CETAs, and we looked at the competences of the individuals at play. And we're quite confident that given their abilities, they have been able to, they will be able to turn around the situation. And I, would implore the committee and yourself, to make an assessment of the individual on the basis of the work that they've done. I also suppose the question of whether they are the right people for the job or not is not just merely about their confidence, but it's about how, public opinion sees them.
Hear you.
Thank you.
Minister, I submit to you again. Yes, you're correct that we're supposed to judge are they the right person for the job, the right people. I put it to you that they are not the right people for this job.
That's your opinion.
And so, and I hear you. And I'm just going to make one last submission in favor of this argument. because I'm aware that you don't want to take it, and it's a shame. For me, it's unfortunate that you are being stubborn, for a lack of a better expression, on just that convincing of this idea. When you look at Chapter 10 of the South African Constitution, Section 195, subsections 1A and B, they speak specifically to public administration. A says that there are principles that are and values that are supposed to be followed, right? That principle A is that there must be a high standard of professional ethics that must be promoted and maintained by people who work in the public service and administration. Number 2, it says that there must be an efficient, economic, and effective use of resources that must be promoted. That's Chapter 10. And in line with that, the regulations of the PSC, particularly Section 14F, make specific reference to say that these people must be honest and accountable in dealing with public funds and use the state's property and other resources effectively, efficiently, and for authorized official purposes. It is of the basis of these provisions and all other logical sense that prevails that I argue to you, Minister, that people who are implicated in forensic reports that are of the same nature of the forensic reports that your own department have conducted and are using as reasons to either fire, either charge, or even put SETAs under administrations, that those people are in direct conflict with the provisions of this Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and the regulations that stem from it. And that I would rather have a case where the forensic report is challenged in court and nullified, and only then can we as a republic have faith that Ndate Masokg and Ndate Nkwane are not fit to hold office. And it is only after that we would also have faith that Ndate Mvalo, having presided over the mess that has culminated over the years that is the SETA space, would be fit to hold office. So it's on the basis of that I am pleading with you. The reason why the final submission I want to make is the reason why I still don't buy your argument is if indeed, as you put it, forensic reports are not absolute and should just be taken as mere documents that exist for consideration, then your own department, you, DG, wouldn't be sitting with the 3 thick files in front of you right now. The 3 thick files that exist in front of you right now are there because they are detailing what forensic reports in your department have told you about what's happening in the LG SETA, services SETA, and the construction SETA. And that is the guiding principle of what you are trying, of how you are trying to fix the system. So I'm never going to be under any circumstance be convinced, Minister, of any argument that says after you put the forensic report in front of them, you had your own cross-examination session to ask, is the forensic report true or not? Because anybody who's implicated in a forensic report is going to say, no, I'm not guilty, or no, the forensic report is lying, as is the case with the people who are implicated in forensic reports that you have in front of you that you are using as part of what to correct. So for me, it's unfortunate, Minister, because for the first time, I would imagine I don't have a problem with your decision to put them under administration. As for the process, I'm neither here nor there. I'm focused specifically on the caliber of the people. You are wasting time of your office having to answer weird questions and unnecessary questions such as this, simply because of your choice to headhunt people. It's even worse. These people didn't go apply, Minister. They didn't go apply and then they were the best candidates that came out of the process. They were specifically headhunted. Yet they're implicated. So I don't even know what to say to you, because I was hoping you would reason and reasonably understand why there's a fundamental problem with this. But I'm done, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Thank you, Chairperson. Firstly, let me firstly indicate that the institutions that the two individuals are referred to have committed misconduct in both Emfuleni municipality and the special economic zone in Limpopo, that the two individuals completed their term. The CEO of the SEZ and also as the administrator at Emfuleni. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that especially with regards to Emfuleni, and as I said, I think the individuals are free to disclose details as it relates to this. But importantly, that the forensic report that you indicate implicates Opankwana was a forensic report according to his account, which he initiated, the investigation which he initiated, I can imagine a forensic report that you initiate, which then implicates you. I think it's the two, does not necessarily make any logic. The third point is that I'm not using forensic reports. I don't know what's in the DG's file. You seem to know. Because they're blue, maybe, you may know. But I think that we're not using any forensic report to punish any individuals. This is important. But you are suggesting that we should use forensic reports which are inconclusive to punish individuals by excluding them. Well, thank you for mentioning that section in the Constitution, and I think we're quite happy. You can call me stubborn or whatever, but the point is that we're quite happy if you come back and say to me that these individuals have contravened this section of the Constitution, this section of the Criminal Procedures Act, this section of the Public Service Act, and so on and so forth. And on the basis of that, then I'm willing to listen to you. And I'm quite. It's not stubbornness. If I believe that the facts that you're presenting are not persuasive enough for us to reconsider our decision. Also, I would have been very surprised if you came here and give me hugs and said you fully agree with the decisions that we've taken. Otherwise, that would completely disarm what we call a very noble role that you play as a member of the opposition party.
Ayisivele yaba yindeke le video, kodwa ke bekufanele ngiyilethe wazi ukuthi kuthiweni. Ngicabanga ukuthi ivideo elandelayo izobe inemember ye-ANC. Ngoba naye iveza amaphuzu abalekile noSihlelonzi. noSihlelonzi futhi nawe uveza amaphuzu abalekile. Mina nawe sidibane kwivideo elandelayo. Ngiyacela ukuze ukuphawula kwakho la ku comment section. Ngizwe ukuthi wena ubona kanjani kulonke nje lolu daba esixoxa ngalo, ngoba lithinta ikusasa ley'ngane zethu, lithinta ikusasa lethu, lithinta izwe lethu. Umzwile kuminister ephendule eParliament esho ukuthi cha, noma kuthiwa ba-implicated, kodwa ngoba sikakaphumi isinqumo enkantolo esizothi labantu ngempela bonile. Ya, ukusho ukuthi mzukwane ke kwaphuma isinqumo enkantolo uyobe sethatha igxathu. Asethembe kodwa ukuthi uzokwazi ukusimela isinqumo sakhe kusasa, ngoba njengoba kuqokwa labantu, uma kungase kube nephutha elincane bayomkhumbuza, angeke bamyeke.